and welcome to another episode of the Ozzie Gamecast. This is episode 4, I believe. I'm Janos.
And I'm Abracona.
And we're going to talk to you a bit about games. First and foremost, what have you been playing this week, Ava?
Well, as you so informed me last night, I believe, that Ring Runner is not far from release, so I brought that and I immediately started playing through the demo again.
Again? Still good?
It's still pretty amazing, except it looks even better than it used to.
Yeah, I booted it up a little bit before. It looks like they've done some upgrades to like the particle effects and all the fancy things. That's supposed to come out on, I think it's the 16th?
Sounds about right. I'm pretty excited to actually get a hoe into the story.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yep, and I've also been playing a lot of Minecraft because I run a server that me and a few friends play on, so we've got a nice little world going there. And what else? There was something else.
Something else?
Ranked League in the Oceania server.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty big one. Anyone playing League of Legends, there's finally an Australian server for that. Note of warning before you swap over though, if you primarily play like ARAM and Dominion, those aren't turned on yet. They do have ranked in 5v5 now though, so...
Yeah, the Oceania server is still in beta and those things are still yet to be released, but they are coming, just no release date specified.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Megaman X4 for PS1, because I just needed a hit of that goddamn amazing game.
Some old school platformy shooty action.
Mm-hmm.
Some deliciousness.
Still pretty good. Yeah. What about you, bruh?
Well, for the last 2 weeks, my entire existence has been consumed by one game. That game is Xcom Enemy Unknown.
Ah, yeah, you got that for free on the PSN. How is it?
Yeah, oh my god. Everything about that game speaks to every part of my body.
It sounded vaguely dirty, but I can get on board.
Yeah, as you know, and anybody who knows me knows, I'm a fan of turn-based, strategy and turn-based strategy RPGs, and this has got all of that in spades. Yeah, it's a little buggy, but so good, so much fun I've had with it, and the whole permadeath thing. Your guy dies, you swear and throw your controller, and then pick it right up again.
Train a new one to fill his shoes.
Yeah. And other than that, I've been playing Mortal Kombat 9, which, yes, it's old, but it's new for me.
Yeah, it's only just come out here.
Yeah.
Stupid frickin' Australia.
Yeah, so I've been playing a hell of a lot of that. I like smoke, all the teleports and more teleports.
Yeah, and I think I was a big fan of the old Freddy Kruegs in that game.
Yeah, you got Freddy Krueger and yeah, the 2-on-2 mode in that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be as fun as it was, but having 2 players on one team versus the 2 enemies just through the normal arcade campaign was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Except for the whole... I swapped, I didn't tell you. My bad that you just got comboed half your health.
Yeah, go out there, be a sponge while I recover.
But yeah, this has been a good couple of weeks of the games we've been playing.
Yeah. So what's been happening in the gaming world this past couple of weeks?
Gaming world last couple of weeks? Well, there was a petition for Nintendo to remove region locking on the Nintendo 3DS.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the Wii U. I remember I actually signed that. I think. Yeah,
me too.
That didn't yield any results though.
No.
Basically, Nintendo came out and said, "Yeah, we don't have any plans of removing region locks." What was their exact wording? Right, yeah, Nintendo, they justified their defense of the region locking by saying that there are many different regions around the world, and each region has its own cultural acceptances and legal restrictions, such as age ratings and stuff like that. So that's their justification for keeping the region locking on. Personally, I think that's a pile of crap.
Yeah.
Because none of the other systems here on out are region locked. And even
weird.
The old DS wasn't region locked, and that's something they added later.
Because that was like the first console of that well, in a long time to have no region locking.
Yeah, the DS, I think, was the first one since maybe the Dreamcast that didn't have region locks.
Yeah.
And yeah, arbitrarily they've added, like, my own theory about their region locking is simply to do with regional pricing, supply and demand, and it's about making money. That's what it really feels like.
Because, all the other consoles aren't, and I mean, they like money as much as the next person, but Nintendo's like, well, I guess we can make a little bit more. Maybe it's kind of a hitch on because the Wii U hasn't been doing so well, so they want to try and keep as much money in it as they can.
Yeah, I guess so. So they can control where the games sort of come out and when people are buying them and stuff. But even then, it's like
they can't be making that much extra money off it.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I'd be buying more Wii U games if I could just buy them from the US.
Exactly.
But yeah, it could just be a case of Nintendo being out of touch, because they're a very Japanese company, and they do things in their own very special Nintendo way. So it could very well be a case of that they just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes both ways, because we could just same way as we don't fully understand why they're doing it, but I'm sure they know the reason.
I mean, but it's an archaic system. Like, TVs are all HDMI now. It's all the same resolution. There's no reason to differentiate them outside of legal or monetary reasons. So.
Yeah, because, I mean, there was a whole bunch of DS games that I just couldn't play because they're only in Japanese, and sadly for me, I can't read Japanese, so...
Yeah, at least not yet.
No, not yet.
But, yeah. Speaking of Nintendo, there's another little tidbit, for anyone who's connected to the fighting game scene. Evo's coming up, and that's got all your big games, your Tekkens, your Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter, and so on and so forth. This year, the fans actually of Smash Brothers raised $97,000 for breast cancer research to get that game to appear at Evo this year. And myself, along with a lot of other people, were really, really excited about it. Now, the news came out 2 days ago that Nintendo actually denied permission of Evo to stream
Smash Bros.
Yeah, to stream Smash Brothers Melee, which seems bonkers because, well, for one thing, it was for a good cause because of the whole cancer research thing, and secondly, this doesn't it's $97,000 worth of free advertising that for the Smash Brothers series. Aren't they supposed to be bringing out a new game in that series?
Yeah, if I had to take a jab, I'd say at Christmas this year.
Yeah.
We can expect to see that game.
Well, they said 2014, I think, for that. But still, it's like denying people from streaming Smash Brothers is not how you build goodwill towards your series. And it only happened over a very short amount of time, and quickly a shitstorm of negative PR started building up until I believe maybe one of the higher-ups at Nintendo heard about it in the wrong way, i.e. through a news site or something, like, oh shit, what the hell happened here?
Yeah.
And yeah, they turned it around straight away.
Because I heard of it the same day you told me about it, was the same day it got changed.
Yeah, it got changed probably 5 hours after I noticed that it happened to begin with.
Jesus.
So
that's a pretty a really fast turnaround, and especially considering at the time you pointed me to Legend of Zelda 150-hour charity stream on Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. There was, at the time all of this happened, there was a charity stream of Legend of Zelda running at the same time that Nintendo seemingly didn't give a shit about, or more likely didn't know about. And yeah, it's good on them for changing their mind. I mean, anybody who's looking forward to seeing like the top level Melee players go at it on the world stage, it's
looking forward to.
Yeah, it's really good news for that. So that's good.
Yeah. So what else has been happening in the old interwebs news?
Well, there's one thing. You know how Australia's got an R rating for games now?
Surely do, good sir.
And we can have mature entertainment that we consume at our own leisure.
It's nice because we should always have been able to do that.
Yeah. Well, not every game's impervious. Saints Row 4 has been banned. The upcoming title from Volition has been blocked by has been denied classification by the Australian Ratings Board. Apparently, the content of that game does not fall within restricted 18 plus. Their justification was what's the wording they've got here?
It's kind of to revolve around extreme drug use and some very tender topic of violence surrounding rape.
Yeah, basically, they're the two sticking points. When it comes to the drug use in a game and on movies and stuff is fine for the R18 classification. Their sticking point when it comes to the drug use is positive reinforcement behind drug use. So, using drugs, you get a life bonus, for example. I'm assuming that's what it would be in the game.
Yeah.
And that's something that they don't want in there. Like, I can sort of understand that, but I assume anyone over the age of 18 understands this. They understand if I take heroin, it's not going to make me more accurate. Yeah. And the other one, I think it was contextually unjustified sexual violence. Alright, there's no defending that.
Yeah.
Whether or not it actually is sexual violence is totally a different story. I don't know what the footage the ratings board was given was, but it was likely somebody getting beaten up with a dildo or something. Like, it probably wasn't real sexual violence, but
yeah,
I didn't see the footage, so I can't really defend that.
Yeah, for people who don't know how a rating board would work when coming to a video game or movie or anything really, is they get given like a demo reel of the most horrific and negative points in the game that would be rateable.
Yeah, and basically that's monitored. It's pretty much monitored on the honor system, but reportable and punishable by law. So if when that sizzle reel is handed over with all of the mature stuff in it, they have to say this is the most intensive stuff in our game, and we swear by that and blah blah blah, and are legally bound by that statement.
Yep.
So yeah, it's unfortunate though, because drug use should be allowed in R18, and even sexual violence is something that you can get through in movies. So.
Yeah, because again, they've got to remember that it's being marketed. If it was going to be marketed, it would be marketed to 18 and plus, and all the people who are buying into this experience fully understand the ramifications of everything that's happening within the game, and that it's not something that they should be doing in real life.
Exactly, they shouldn't be restricting the rights to enjoy mature media to a consenting adult. They should not. The government should not have that right in any mean at all.
Yeah,
so,
and I mean, it sucks that it's been denied classification, but I'm assuming that we're probably still allowed to import it.
Yeah, it'll probably be a case of what Mortal Kombat used to be, that it's been denied classification, but that doesn't mean you can't obtain the game. You can probably just get it through Steam when the game comes out, or whatever system it's on.
Yeah, well, isn't that a cross console? Like, it's on everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
But I mean, for platform, say if it was EA, it would probably be on Origin. I don't know who.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who publishes it. Deep Silver, so yeah, it'd probably be Steam. Alright, since we're pretty much out of news topics to talk about, we've come up with a couple topics to sort of cover each week, and if you as a listener come up with an interesting thing for us to talk about, feel free to leave it in the comments, and we may actually talk about it on a future podcast. Topic number 1. What game do you come back to yearly?
Yearly?
Yeah.
A game that I would visit every year. That's a good one.
And it doesn't have to be something you play every single year, but you know what I mean. Something that you'll always come back to.
Yeah, you'll think about it and be like, I haven't played that in a while. I want to play that. I guess probably Super Metroid or Mega Man, anything from the Mega Man series.
Yeah.
That would definitely be just an easy pick that I would think about and be like, because I did it recently. I just sat down and played through all of Mega Man X4 today.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. Yeah. Well, what about you?
I don't know. For the longest time, I'd say it probably would have been Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I played that 2 or 3 times a year since it come out. Like every single year, maybe up until a couple of years ago. But now, I don't know. Maybe Half-Life 2?
Yeah, actually, Half-Life 2 is another one for me, because, just the refresher course. I know I played through all of it recently, and I was like, oh, there's achievements now.
Yeah, that's something they added recently. But yeah, it's something I can always come back to, like, when I've had an irritating time on League of Legends, or played the next Call of Duty game and been frustrated out of my mind with how fucking repetitive it is, and so on and so forth. I can just go back to a solid pillar of just excellence when it comes to just straight design of the worlds you play in and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just hell. It's aged very well.
Yeah. And I'd say probably my most recent one that I go back to more often than I probably should would be Mass Effect. I've played through the whole trilogy maybe 3 or 4 times, which says a lot considering 3 only came out last year.
Christ, that's pretty.
But yeah, that's a personal favourite of mine.
There you go. Yeah, that would be. It's a good game to revisit. I'm kind of ashamed that I've never played through them. It's not because I don't think they'll be bad, it's just one of those game series that I never got into.
Yeah, because you played the first one a bit, didn't you? And you sort of got frustrated with it, or...
Yeah, I think I put down a solid 20 hours, and then I just kind of slowly put it down because of how many times I lost progress because it doesn't have autosaves. Well, it does, just not freaking many.
Yeah, like, this is coming from somebody who loves the Mass Effect games. The first one's shit.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing everyone says about them, though. Like, anyone I've heard who raves about them, they're just like, yeah, the first one's good, but it's still a pretty shitty game.
Yeah, like, it has a great story, but as a game, just straight gameplay and optimization and everything, it's shit ass. And if the gameplay infuriates you, just skip it and go straight to the second one. The second one even starts with a recap on the first one anyway, so you can, like, do all your decisions and see what you missed.
Yeah,
so,
kind of fast forward.
Yeah. Okay. What are your gaming pet peeves, or what gaming tropes don't you like?
Gaming tropes I don't like.
To give you sort of a bit of an example, say for me, an example of a gaming trope that wrenches me out of the experience, and I hate it. I hate seeing it every time I see it. Is double jump. If a character in a game I'm playing has a double jump and there's no reason for them to have that ability, it instantly takes me out of the experience.
Also, kind of like a double jump where the character just kind of somersaults again in midair and they just gain an extra boost and defy gravity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a good example of a game that does double jumps and such in a way that I can sort of accept subconsciously would be Shadow Complex, when your character gains a sort of a jetpack that does an extra boost so you can jump again in the air.
Okay. And I guess the same could be said about Samus's moon jump.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas something like Ratchet and Clank, like, it just irritates me to no end that I leap into the air and nothing's supporting me, and it's like, oh, jump again. From a game design standpoint specifically, why not just make him able to jump twice that distance?
Yeah, or give him, like, it wouldn't be hard to give him a little jetpack.
Yeah, or at least explain it in the story somehow. Like, that's
how
just...
kinetic powers that allow him to defy gravity for one extra time.
Yeah. So yeah, what's something about games or game logic that you don't like, or that
Game
takes you
logic
out of the
that I don't like.
experience?
Jeez. I guess I'd have to say fetch quests.
Fetch quests?
Fetch quests. For example, let's say we were playing, Row 2 is a good example. But, let's say someone sends me to go and get 5 jalopy. Now, we both know, you and I both know, that porrings are so full to the brim of jalopy that them not dropping any would be ludicrous. Yet somehow when you kill them and they fail to drop a jalopy because it's a quest item, it's like, and again, there's rat's teeth, cactus spikes.
Yeah, that's a big thing, isn't it? It's like, if
That
I'm
was the
sent to get cat claws and I need to get you 5 cat claws, theoretically I only have to kill 1 cat, yes?
Yeah, because they have
They have
4.
20 claws.
Yeah. And it's like, wait, how am I not... Like, I can see that this creature clearly has a fur coat. Why can I not skin it and take it?
Yeah, exactly. Then you get games that do it right, like Red Dead Redemption or Skyrim. How whatever you kill, you are gonna get meat off that thing.
Yeah. Whenever you kill a deer, there's venison in it.
Yeah. And
Whenever you kill a dragon, delicious scales.
Yeah, and you always get your pelts and everything. Like, drop rates on parts of creatures. That's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's one thing that will drive me insane until forever.
Monster Hunter's pretty guilty of that as well.
Yep.
Like, if I kill a Geganox, I expect to get a fearsome more. I saw that more for 20 minutes chomping at me.
Yeah, all I have to do is get out my knife that I've used a million times and slice it clean out of its mouth. I mean, I guess to one end in Monster Hunter, if I suspend disbelief for a moment here, I could simply justify that I damaged that part of the monster far too much for it to be usable.
See, that makes sense, I guess. And that's something Monster Hunter can actually do, can justify. You see the parts on the monsters break.
Yeah, I mean, it's still annoying when it's like, oh, it's a 0.02% drop rate. My mate over there got 5 of them while I was trying to get still just 1.
Yeah.
It's like, how come he got 1? Yeah,
Fuck you, guy.
That is one thing that will never not make me insane. Is not getting something off something that clearly has that thing.
Yeah.
Fucking obsidian crystals.
Here's an interesting one. It's about gaming backlogs. Are there any games in your wall of gaming shame that you never got to play or never got around to finishing that you really wanted to go back to, but you just haven't?
Gaming wall of shame. Let's have a look here. I can include games that I just simply haven't finished.
Yeah, well, just stuff you really wanted to finish, and you sort of just are a little bit ashamed you just never got to playing them.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and toss out Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance for the 3DS.
Yeah.
Because I got near the end of that game, and I was so sick of the drop mechanic that I just stopped playing. I'm still near the end, and it's just a game world that will continue to run forever with me not ever finding an end to it.
What exactly was the drop mechanic?
Okay, so you remember Sora, yeah?
Yep.
Right, so you've got Sora and Riku. They're both playable characters, but instead of swapping between them as the game goes... sorry, yeah?
Is Riku the guy at the start of the second game?
No, Riku was your best friend in the first game, the kid with white hair.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah, in this game you swap between them, but not in a coherent story process way. Both characters play through all of the same worlds together, but all the worlds are different and you meet different Disney or Square licensed characters?
Yeah, Square.
Yeah. But the drop mechanic forces you to swap between the two characters. You don't finish a world, then go and play through the world with someone else. There is a timer at the bottom that says how long you have until you swap back to the other person, and this can happen even during boss battles. And when it happens during a boss battle, when you eventually you can force drops to happen. You can decide that you want to change character, but the thing is, if it happens during a boss fight that you may be near the end of finishing, when you go back to playing as Sora or Riku in that boss fight, you have to start the entire fight again.
Yeah, that's...
But it was just... That only ever happened to me once, and it was at the start of the game, but it was still very annoying, and it happening non-stop as the game progresses, like...
So wait, if you're just playing the story mode, just playing the game, your characters will just switch every 20 minutes or something?
Yeah, you can extend the time period that it takes them to switch by like doing better in combat as that individual character before you swap over. So when you swap, you'll just have a longer drop as Riku or Sora on the next play. But yeah, it's just there's a timer at the bottom, and it'll alert you when it's about to drop, and then you just get dropped, and you have to change character. So if you're in the middle of a really cool story part of the world you're in as Sora or Riku, you just have to stop playing it for a little while and go play someone else.
Is there a storyline reason for it? Like, are they phasing in and out of like planes of existence or something?
They are running alongside one another in separate planes of existence of the same world. So the first world you're in is the world from well, it's got the world ends with you characters. It's got them in the first world you play as in the story's campaign, and you're both in the exact same town. It's just that you're in alternate realities, but there's no reason for you to switch on a time limit like that.
Yeah.
Because like they both still exist, but they're just running in a dimension where they can't see one another.
Yeah, and that's another big one. Again, going back to the whole tropes that just take you out of the experience. For me, when there's an arbitrary mechanic like that, say a timer that swaps you out of your character, it really, really shits me when there's no reason in the story for it to happen that way.
Yeah.
It just is, and it's irritating.
Yeah.
If they had a storyline reason, like it was a magic hourglass that was shifting them in and out of existence or something, like I could get on board with it, I guess. But
yeah. But it's not. It's just that they're running two straight lines on either side of a brick wall.
Yeah, that's fucking irritating. It sounds like that would be really cool to have like a wireless co-op, one playing as Riku, one playing as Sora, like in alternate realities, and you could sort of phase into each other. That would be a cool thing for that.
That would actually be, like, just think about that. That's actually sounds like a cool multiplayer mechanic. Let's say...
Yeah,
like,
so it'd be like Demon Souls. You're in your own world, but then you can sort of like phase into each other or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, from a puzzle aspect even, you could, like, let's say there's a multiplayer-only mode, and there's puzzles that you have to cooperate through just through the veil of separate worlds where one person, let's say Riku is in his world, the roof is the floor. And there's buttons up there that Sora just can't reach, but they're just getting pressed anyway because the other player is up there as Riku pressing them all.
There you go. You listening, Squaresoft? Game design.
Yeah, that's how you do it, junk.
Alright, well, I suppose that's your main sort of big one that you sort of just haven't gotten to, even though it's been sitting there winking at you for ages to play it.
Yeah.
Anything else? Or?
Well, yeah, I talked about that one for a long time. I guess I'm pretty guilty of Eco from the Shadow of Colossus HD collection.
Ah, yep.
I feel kind of bad about it, but at the same time I don't, because the whole reason I brought that collector's edition was just for Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. Like, you bought it never intending to play it, so...
Yeah. And, I guess another one would have to be... Oh, pardon me. I kind of regret never properly finishing Shinobi on 3DS either.
Oh, was that the remake one, or was it a reboot, or something?
Well, it was a whole different game, but it was just side-scroller, and it's, like, way amped up difficulty. I played it through, like, I finished it on the easiest setting, but, like, there's no challenge to that. Like, you have unlimited lives, so I got to the final boss, and I could just attempt it as many times as I could without really having to learn his patterns.
Oh, so you could pretty much just save scum your way through.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I kind of regret never finishing that properly. Like, I don't feel like I got my money's worth out of it playing it the way I did, considering, like, I can finish Shinobi 3 on the Sega on hardest difficulty, no shurikens, in, like, 2 hours.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I got piles and piles of games I've bought that... there's some games that are still just in their plastic that I've never opened. I intend to go back to them and play them one day, but... I don't know. Like, at the moment, I got the games from the Project Rainfall, so there's the Xenoblade Chronicles, The Last Story, and you picked up Pandora's Tower. I've had...
That's another game. Sorry, that was... You just said it and I was like, that's another game on my wall.
Yeah, like, I've had the last story for almost a year now, because obviously we got it when Europe got it, so we didn't have to do the whole Project Rainfall shit to get it.
Yeah.
It's been sitting on my shelf for like a year, and I just haven't touched it, and I know I'll love it, but I don't know, I just haven't...
Haven't committed the time to it.
Yeah, I've got all sorts of games. I got like Knight's Contract that I haven't booted up yet.
Did I lend you that, or is that just...
That's my own.
That's right, you had your own copy for like... before I even got mine, I think.
Yeah, I bought it, I saw it on the shelf at EB one day, and I was like, I have no idea what this is, but I'm gonna get it.
Spoiler alert, it's pretty awesome.
Oh, good. And yeah, I've had God of War 1 and 2 sitting there for ages that I haven't touched. I finished 3, I loved it, but I don't know.
Didn't finish one.
I got 1 and 2 afterwards.
Oh, okay.
I've like tons of games just sitting there.
Kiriko's Uprising.
Yep, that's one. I got like halfway through that, but that I stopped playing because I decided it was irritating me. Just the controls and everything.
Just because it's
it was a fun game, but fuck, that hurt my hands.
It's the unplayable game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great game. It's just the controls are so god awful that it steers so many people away. Multiplayer is really fun though.
Yeah, the multiplayer actually was pretty cool. It was like a all-on-all... It kind of felt a little bit like Final Fantasy Dissidia.
Yeah, I only ever played the what's it called? The team mode, just because I found that there were Asians who would wreck my buttocks.
Just ream you all up in the insides.
Yeah. With
their claws.
Yeah, the Asian claws. But hey, I beat an Asian once at frickin' what's it called? Guilty Gear Accent Core, and boy did I enjoy that victory too much and loudly.
Yeah, to set the scene, I was here playing, I don't know, Street Fighter 3 against some guy at a convention, and off the other side of the room I hear, "Go you! You got beat, son!" And then it was you just beating an Asian.
Yeah, and he almost got me too. He was a lot better than me. It's just that I still won because I got lucky. And I won. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I think afterwards I played a game as Jam.
Jam already.
Yeah, and I got trashed.
Yeah, because there's always mean Asians at those games. Not to be racist or anything, but Asians are like fantastic at those games.
Yeah.
My room expecting someone to hit me in the face, but it's not.
Alright, well here's another interesting topic. This is something that is prevalent all throughout gaming culture. Games that are super, super popular, but you just fucking hate them. And say Call of Duty. Everybody plays Call of Duty. But why do they play Call of Duty? You know?
Yeah.
So the question is, what games that are very popular, that everybody loves, that you either can't stand or just don't understand why they're considered good games?
Jeez. That's another hard one.
Well, I'll go first if you want.
Yeah. Go.
I'll cop a lot of flack for this, but Kingdom Hearts. I've tried to play those games numerous times, and I just cannot. I don't like they're competent RPGs, but I don't understand where this mountainous like love for these things comes from.
Yeah, the huge amount of fan. I think if I had to blindfoldedly chuck a knife at it, I'd say it's the Square characters. The Square and Disney characters is just like all this fan
just
service.
Brand power?
Yeah, brand power.
Yeah.
People just lap it up.
Because I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that could be a cool idea, and then it exploded and everybody loved it, and it's like, oh, it seems like the sort of thing I could play. Played it, and it's like, meh, it's just like every other RPG. But,
yeah, because I think you got as far as Hollow Bastion in the first game, and that was it.
Yeah, was that sort of towards the end? Or?
Yeah, it's near the endish.
Yeah. So I played enough of the first one to sort of get it.
Yeah,
But-
like you gave it an honest try. Like Hollow Bastion's, it's all like I found it to be the most annoying place in the game as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you got that far and you're like, I still don't get it, like there's no reason for you to keep going.
Yeah. Alright, well here's another one. Again, I'll probably cop a lot of hate for this. Now, this is not an example of a game I hate, but a game I can't, for the life of me, I can't enjoy this game, even though by all accounts I should. And that is Okami. By all accounts, I should love this game, and I've tried to play it so many times, but I just can't get into it, and I don't know why.
I don't know why either. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of the calligraphy art style, or if it's the painting, or the way the camera feels. But for some reason, even though everything about the game, it's a Zelda style game. It's beautiful. It's cultural. It's got beautiful music, but I just can't get into it.
I don't. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I even bought the HD remake of it on PS3, and I couldn't even get into that one. Although when it comes to HD remakes, that particular version, I don't know why, but it's locked at 30 frames, and that's
pretty gross.
Yeah, that just sticks in my craw.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Okami's kind of fantastic.
Yeah. What about you?
Jeez. I'm still trying to think of a game that I just can't get behind. Like, I guess the biggest example for me would be what's it called? And this isn't a game I like necessarily hate. It's just that I don't see what everyone else sees in it, and that's Mass Effect.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like we've already mentioned, we've
Yeah.
already talked about it, and yeah.
It's just that I don't know, because it's not for lack of understanding. I get what it's about, and like I'm no stranger to third-person chest-high walls, but yeah,
That doesn't even come in until the second game.
It was chest-high walls in the first game.
Oh, they sort of were, I guess, but yeah.
It was like rails and stuff.
Yeah, its cover system in the first game was dodgy, so...
Yeah.
First game wasn't very good.
No.
I still stand by what I say. Like, I can understand people saying it's not that great, because the first game's really not. By all accounts, it's everything that defines it as a bad game.
Yeah. Except the story.
But don't play the first game. Yeah.
I know there's another example of this. I'm just missing it.
Infamous?
I liked Infamous. Just the first game was fucking annoying.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with bloody Infamous. You're just strolling along having a good time, and then you get pegged in the shoulder from 3 blocks away by a random mugger.
Yeah, with a shotgun. He's like, I'm gonna get you, and then you point at him with your lightning, and he's like, I'm gonna hide.
Yeah.
You just stay hidden forever. Yeah, I can't think of any like games of that for me at the moment, where I'm just like, everyone likes them. Like, I guess Call of Duty would be one. Like, I've never had any drive to play them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, those games, I know why they're popular, because they're so easy to pick up and jump into them and just shoot some fools and have some fun with it. But yeah, they're not
that great. They're not anything new or amazing, considering there's like 20 of them.
Yeah, like Call of Duty 4, when it first came out, was a pretty big deal, like, and I understand why. And I liked it, I enjoyed it a lot, but then it's been pretty much the same game every time since then.
Yeah, because they just release a new one every year and at Christmas and be like, here, make more money for us.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the case, because from what I can tell, it's like it's all about the multiplayer, and I don't just want to get a game where I have to sit down and shoot people, because I've got a million games I can play on the computer that do that for me.
Yeah.
I want a good story campaign.
Let's say one for me. This is a game I don't hate, but I don't understand. I simply just do not grasp why it's so amazingly popular and so lauded as something that's just changed the face of gaming. You can probably figure out what I'm talking about, and this is Halo.
Oh yes, that's
I
That is
I
a
can
big
respect
one for
that
me.
there's nothing functionally wrong with Halo, but
It's
I
not-
cannot figure out for the life of me why it is on this such a high pedestal above everything else when it comes to impact on the gaming on gaming in general, and how important it was and how well it was designed. And I played it when it was new, and nothing about it impressed me.
And I was the same, but I think that was because the people who were playing that were like, "Oh, it's the best thing ever." Maybe they never played this thing called Half-Life 1.
Maybe that could be it.
That's all I can think about, because Half-Life 1 shits all over that.
Yeah, like, because you and I came from... And that could very well be it. You and I are PC gamers. We came from Half-Life 1, Quake 2, Quake 3, Unreal Tournament.
We came from a better place.
Yeah, and console gamers... Where was console shooters before Halo?
It wasn't. Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
The
you
old
had
one.
GoldenEye and...
All equally as shitty and slow.
Yeah, and Perfect Dark, and...
Pretty much like objective-driven shooters on consoles. Time Splitters,
Yeah.
Perfect Dark, GoldenEye. Can't think of any more right now.
Yeah, up until Halo. But even when Halo came out...
Wasn't Half-Life 2 kind of new then?
No, Half-Life 2 was more like 2004.
Okay.
No, Halo was original Xbox. It was like 2002 or 3. But this was around the same time as Metroid Prime. And Metroid Prime...
Wow,
ran at
Metroid Prime also shits all over that.
Yeah. There's that, again, another reason why I... It's not that it's not that Halo's a shit game. I understand that it's not a bad game, but it's not leagues above everything else. It simply isn't special.
Yeah,
It never has been.
It's a first-person shooter. A very slow one, mind you.
Yeah.
Moon jumping.
But yeah. I might get a lot of hate for that, but I just can't.
It's worth it, because we can't abide people thinking it is the god of first-person shooters.
Yeah. And it's competent for what it did. Like, Halo ODST in particular is one I really, really enjoyed quite a lot. That was more because they took a different stance with the storytelling, and they had all sorts of little differences in there, and you weren't Master Chief, so your character had a bit more personality.
He wasn't a god.
Yeah. On an interesting side note, Bungie are off making what's it called now? Infinity or something?
Infinity for the next gen and most likely PC.
Yeah. There was actually nods to that game in Halo ODST.
Oh, there was?
Yep, there were posters in the city for that game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I never played through ODST, so yeah, I didn't even know that. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, not Infinity, Destiny. But yeah, the posters were the planet with the small moon, and Destiny is now. And this is a game that came out in like 2009, I think, maybe 2010.
Yeah, it sounds right. When I was that time where I was living in Cape.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's only just been like announced earlier this year that it was going to be a thing. People, I remember some of my friends being like, "Oh, it's only going to be on Xbox." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's not going to be on Xbox at all. It'll be on the next Xbox, and probably PC."
Yeah, and PS4.
But yeah, Xbox going to be on everything now.
Yeah,
like-
except Wii U.
Yeah.
No chance.
I wouldn't
it'll
get
be
that on Wii U anyway.
Yeah, no.
My Wii U's for other things.
Wii U's for... Well, it pretty much is for Nintendo games at this point. I don't see much point getting third-party games for it.
Yeah, because they're just going to be better on the other consoles.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a shame, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of knew exactly what I was getting into when I got the Wii U. I was like, I know the reason I'm getting this. Like, the main reason that's driving me to get this is Zelda, Metroid, Pikmin, Brawl, or Smash Bros.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Alright, we'll probably do one last topic and then call it a night.
Yeah, alright. Sounds good.
Alright, so... we talked a little bit about XCOM Enemy Unknown before, and it's a really, really good, really good turn-based strategy game. But what a lot of people who aren't in the know might not know is it's actually a return to form of a series that's existed in gaming for about 20 years.
Yeah, there were the diehard fans are a little peeved about the way it was when it originally came out, weren't they?
Yeah, because the original game, it was much the same type of game, but the original one was much more hardcore in the sense that every character had full inventory and your movement wasn't 2 movement steps, it was more like you had an amount of movement resource and everything you could do, like firing a gun or moving, used a certain amount. So say you could move, then fire, then move back into cover or whatever.
So you could move around as much as you like as long as you have the resources to continue doing so.
Yes. But by the same token, the game was much more fiddly. Like, I played it a bit, and yeah, it's much clunkier. But yeah, on the note of a game that's so old that's pretty much been revitalized into something new, that's something modern people can play, and something that people now think about again, is what game do you want brought back, and why?
Brought back? Well, up until last year, I think it was last year, I would have said Splatterhouse, but that was brought back and I was very pleased.
Oh, yep.
But something that I'd like to see brought back, I'm going to go ahead and say Dot Hack game. Like,
Dot Hack?
Yeah, a new Dot Hack game would be amazing. Like, that's... I know it's not super old, but I mean, it's relatively old by today's standards.
It's relatively old. It's not all that well known either, so that's something that could benefit from being brought back, and it's always good to see a good new JRPG sort of coming around. Yeah, the
first 4 games were kind of average, but then the next 3, which were based off the Roots anime, were way better.
Yeah.
But what about you? What's a not a genre, a game or series that you would love to see brought back into the light?
Something I'd like to see a modern equivalent of would be Myst.
That game was...
instead of having it the single panes of basically just pictures that you could sort of interact with, have it as a full 3D environment, but make it a Myst game, make you feel lonely, and make it that you can move around, but it still be Myst, but modern. I'd love to see something like that brought back.
Yeah, actually, on the speaking of games of that nature, there's going to be the Neverhood, a game from was it like early 90s or late 80s? I'm just going to check that.
I think it was probably mid 90s, like 95, 98.
Just gonna... There you go, October 31st, 1996.
There you go.
Was the official release date for the Neverhood on PC. But the crew that brought us that lovely game, which was not not Dreamcast, Dream Studios? DreamWorks.
DreamWorks?
Yeah, DreamWorks, because they were just the people who funded the project, and it's a shame that they still hold all the rights to the Neverhood and its characters, and they wouldn't sell them back to the original creators. Yeah, the people who made the Neverhood started a Kickstarter to make a new game called Armorkrog, and it got funded. It's official that it's a game that will be happening.
Oh, awesome!
And it's a whole new set of characters. It's in the same universe as Neverhood, but obviously it can't use any of the Neverhood characters because DreamWorks owns them and won't let them go.
Ah, fair enough. So it's sort of like a spiritual successor to that game.
Yeah, pretty much. And
it's kind of like Monolith Soft with Xenoblade Chronicles, how it's spiritually the same world as Xenogears, but it's technically not because Squaresoft owns Xenogears.
Yeah, but it's going to be exciting to see a brand new game for them, with all music still being done by Terry Taylor, and cause, I love the music in those games, and it's just going to be this a point-and-click adventure, more or less, brought to the modern age, just with all this attitude and quirkiness, and it's going to be fun and amazing, and I want it.
Well, cool. Yeah, that sounds really good.
So 1996 to, I don't know when it's planned for release, and it's all still in claymation as well, which is just, you just don't see that anymore.
Yeah. You don't see claymation much in TV, let alone games.
Yeah, and they just bring it right back, and the only reason was like, we love to animate like this. We know it's going to take forever because we have to individually animate every single thing this way, but we love it so much that we want to do it. And that was their reason. It's like, we just we wanna. And it's gonna happen, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, like, the last claymation thing I can think of seeing was Coraline claymated?
Yeah, yes it was.
Yeah, that's probably the most modern claymation thing I've seen.
Yeah.
And that's not that new.
Yeah, no, that came out, jeez, over 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's good to see that coming back.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, and obviously hilarious.
Ah. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, another game I'd love to see brought back would be Baldur's Gate. Did you ever play the PC games for that?
The only Baldur's Gate game I can ever recall playing was the one on GameCube.
Ah, right, yeah. Basically, Baldur's Gate came out in two SKUs. There were 2 PC games and 2 console games. The console games were Dark Alliance, and they were sort of like Diablo-style dungeon crawlers.
Yeah.
So the PC games were full-on ARPGs, really Dungeons & Dragons style stuff.
Oh, okay.
And that's something I would love to see come back.
So, kind of how like Legend of Grimrock was.
No, they were like top down, and you had like a party of like 6 members, and they all had their own opinions, and say, depending on what you're doing, some of your party members might disagree with you and even fight you and bugger off. Yeah, no, it was really in depth. Like, it was very, very cool. This was actually an early BioWare series.
Oh wow!
Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, not the GameCube ones. Obviously, they were dungeon crawlers, but yeah, it was. I saw when Dragon Age Origins came out, that was a really good step in the right direction for that style of game, but I'd love to see a return to the real form of just straight Baldur's Gate 3. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah, even like that sounds intriguing just hearing about it.
Yeah. It was one of my favorite RPGs, like so in depth and so much thought put into everything. Those are the type of games that when you play it, you know the guys that made it had a lot of love and care for what they were doing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a really good one to be wanting to see again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a game that I'd like to see brought back, but I guess not necessarily brought back because they still kind of exist, would be Shining Force. But I'm talking Shining Force 1 and 2. The full adventure game that has the strategy battles. And I just played those games to death. I finished the second one at least 20 times, and I would love to see just a return to form of just the super classic structure. Like, I've seen some of the Japanese games, and they have really cool ideas in those, but like, I'd just like to see a classic formula brought back to today.
Yeah, that'd be something really cool to see brought back. Like, in a similar vein, Nintendo just recently released a new game for Fire Emblem. I know they never really stopped making Fire Emblem games, but the really good modernization of the idea of that series. And I know Shining Force is a similar sort of premise.
Yep.
Except obviously it's got actual like
adventuring
adventure mode as well. The second Fire Emblem game actually had that, which was interesting. But yeah, that's. I don't know why they decided to opt out of that. I think they wanted to focus more on a driven story, rather than walking around and interacting with characters and shopkeepers.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. But that's a game that gets all of my recommendations. And if they were to do a new Shining Force game, taking say Nintendo's game as a sort of a guideline to this is what you can do to make it good, and then put in your adventuring and your NPCs and stuff. Oh my god,
that would be quite the journey. I would enjoy it quite a lot. Because one thing that I will say about Shining Force from Shining Force 2 is that the strategy is very simplified. It's a case of if you want to kill your enemy, you don't have to take into account what weapon they're using or anything. It's just if you want to just get in range of them and hit them with your hands as hard as you can, or shoot magic at them. Like, to that end, I like the combat in not Shining Force, Fire Emblem a lot better because it's just got more depth
Yeah, there's more rock, paper, scissors going on.
instead of just rocks versus rocks.
Yeah, rocks and other rocks.
And that's
And occasional blocks of wood.
yeah, and then boss rocks. Boss rocks with lasers. Yeah, that's about it.
Yep. Alright, well, this draws us to the end of another Ozzie Gamecast. Hope you enjoyed your time. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give us a subscription and a thumbs up. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can find us at Aussie Game Guys at YouTube, and that's Aussie spelled with an O. Just type that into YouTube and you'll find us right there. Alright, well, take it easy.
Yep, see you next time.
Bloop.